57 sponsored by Our Lady of Bellefonte Hospital. Bellefonte Primary Care is now open in Ironton, located at 115 North 3rd Street. New patients are being accepted. Call 740-442-7697.
WLGC-FM, Greeno, Ashland, Huntington is the all-new Cool Hits 105.7, playing the greatest songs of all time.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Cool Hits 105.7 now presents the Thursday night high school football Let's Talk Sports Show. Tonight's look at high school football in the Tri-State is brought to you by River Cities Builders, Boyd County Ford, King's Daughters Medical Center Sports Medicine, Commercial Bank of Grayson and Olive Hill, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, Monroe Collision Center, Grayson Sanitation, and Kentucky Automotive Center in Grayson. Now, get ready to talk high school football with area coaches, sports writers, and broadcasters here on Cool Hits 105.7.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday night edition of Let's Talk Sports, when we talk high school football. I'm Jim Forrest, along with Dickie Tiller. Good evening, Dickie.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
The Spinster is here.
Good evening.
Spence. Tim Carper, our sports director, unable to be with us. He's still battling laryngitis, so hopefully Tim will be back with us next time. We've got the high school football playoffs week 2 to talk about. We're pleased to have with us in the studio a couple of guys who are going to be making a trip down into the mountains tomorrow, and that is Mike Sammons, the coach of the Raceland Rams, and T.J. Maynard, the coach of the Russell Red Devils. Glad to have you guys with us tonight.
Glad to be here.
I think we had you guys with us last year too, didn't we?
Yeah, a week later.
Yeah, a little bit week later. We're like to have been the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, before we get started, though, we want to thank Tres Hermanos Nunez Mexican Restaurant for providing our dinner. They do such a great job for us every single week, catering, and we appreciate it very, very much, them doing that for us. All right, guys, let's get right down to it. The thing that we just let off the show with, and that is, you wish it was next week that we had you two guys on instead of this week, which means you would probably be, playing for regional championships and getting ready to hopefully go to the semifinals. And now you got a tough task ahead of you, going on the road and playing a team that, in Raceland's case, has already beat you once this year, and in Russell's case, a team that beat them last year and is really good this year and is beat up on just about everybody. So let's start with you, Coach Sammons, first. What do you tell your team when you're getting ready to go play a team that beat you pretty soundly during the regular season?
Well, when we left down there, our goal was trying to get ourselves back down there in 21 days, and tomorrow will be 21 days since we were there, and we wanted to get back, so we earned that opportunity. Proud of our guys for that. And Paintsville's got a good football team, take nothing away from that, but I don't think we played our best that night. So I think our kids' pride was a little hurt that night, and they came out and fought the last couple of weeks. So hopefully tomorrow night we go down there, and we just want to compete for 48 minutes and let the tips fall where they may at the end.
Coach Maynard, your ball club, of course, taking on Belfry. You played them last year down there at their place, back there again this year. And we've talked about this before. You go back to the Fleming County game, which sort of messed everything up, that homecoming night when it poured the rain, where you could be playing them at home next week instead of being at their place this week. But it is what it is, and you have to go there and play a very, very good football team.
Oh, obviously they're a good football team. The number of state championships they've won. Coach Hayward is on his verge of winning his 400th game. But from last year when they beat us to end our season in state semis, our goal was to get back there and play those guys again at some point in the year. Hopefully we're hoping it's going to be for a regional championship, but it's not. But we know that 3A on the east side goes through Belfry. And we know that if you want to get to Bowling Green, you got to beat those guys. And it's a big challenge for us, but it's a challenge for anyone. But our guys have practiced really well this week, and it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to go out there and lay it on the line and see what happens.
Let's break it down a little bit both ways, Coach Sammons. First of all, your ball club against Paintsville. What does Paintsville bring to the table that you have a hard time with?
Well, obviously everybody knows about Cash and what he's done and what he's doing, nationally for that matter. But the big thing is we got to take away the Phelps kid and the Trimble kid. They just give big, explosive plays on us. They both run really well, not really our forte. Maybe they both run better than anybody we got. There's no secret about that. So we got to make sure we keep those guys bottled up. But we got to eliminate the big play. If we can eliminate the big play and make them drive the ball, that's not something they've done all year. They've big played and hit home runs on everybody. And then on the other side of the ball, we got to churn out some first downs and keep that offense on the sideline. If we can do that and don't turn the ball over, we feel like we can make it a game for 48 minutes.
I think that's probably a common thread with your team too is ball control, isn't it?
Yeah, well, last year when we went down there, I thought defense we played really, really well. It was 7-0 late in the first quarter, it's 14-0 late in the second quarter, ended up being 21-0 at the half. And defense, I thought we played pretty good, but offensively we just couldn't do anything. We were 3 and out, and obviously you keep putting that Belfry offense out there, they're eventually going to find some leaks in your defense and get some scores. But we got to be able to move the ball more this year and convert on third down and keep the chains moving and keep the clock running and keep the ball in our possession.
Yeah, I would think looking at both of these games tomorrow night, Raceland and Russell, I think has to have ball control. You got to keep those offenses, the other team's offenses, off the field.
There's no doubt. I mean, we got to be able to play defense too. Don't get me wrong. We can't give up 50 points again and have a shot.
Right.
We can't get in a shootout tomorrow night. The game's got to be somewhere in the 20s, 3 or 4 touchdown game for us to have a shot. That's anybody that's going to beat Paintsville in the playoffs. You're not going to get in a shootout with them. So we can play some good defense tomorrow. Hopefully, again, we were kind of a little bit caught off guard by some stuff 21 days ago. I think we're a little bit better prepared, and I think our kids are anxious to go out and kind of prove their worth after what happened.
Let me ask both of you guys this question. I'll start with TJ. When the team beat you, it was last year that they beat you guys, and early in the season that Paintsville beat Raceland. But when a team beats you and you go back and look at the film and you go back and break it down and you look for tendencies that you did or that they did or didn't do or whatever, what do you do because they're doing the same thing and they're going to change something up?
Well, on our end here, one thing about Belfry, they're not going to do much different.
Yeah, that's true.
They do what they do, and they do it really, really well. Now, not to say they don't have some variations, because they're going to run their option, but they're going to run it a couple different ways. They'll run dive option, they'll run veer option, stuff like that. But that's one thing. Looking back at last year and even watching film this year, they're going to do what they do on offense, and defensively, they're not going to change. They don't bring a lot of pressure. They're going to line up. You're going to know exactly where they're lined up, but they got a belief that their guys are better than you. Plus, they're well coached. They're going to be right on their reads and their keys, and they're physical and they can run. So again, from that standpoint, I don't think there's going to be a lot of deception or a lot of changes. It's just a matter of fact of can we go out there and match the physicality? Can we execute? Can we make plays when we have to make plays?
What about your ball club? What do you work on? I know you don't want to give away secrets and stuff, but what do you work on to do different? Because they might be doing a few things different, even though they did something different that you weren't ready for last time. They're probably going to do it again.
Yeah, everybody's got wrinkles, but after 11 games, you can't reinvent yourself. They are who they are: Phelps, Daniels, Trimble, some combination thereof. So again, we just got to make sure we can adjust on the fly to everything they do. We had a couple first downs in that game, and then we had some penalties. We'd have a false start, and we took an intentional grounding. I remember off the top of my head. Those are kind of mental mistakes that we've talked about all week. We just got to clean up. Again, they're going to do some things that probably we haven't seen, and I'm sure we'll do the same. But again, at the end of the day, they're going to run the ball with Phelps, Daniels, and Trimbles to beat us, and we got to step up and make tackles.
TJ, against Belfry, one thing that you've been trying to do with your ball club the last several weeks of the season is throw the ball a little bit more, a lot more, a couple of games. And is that something that you were seeing ahead? If you ever got to Belfry, you're going to have to throw the ball a little bit?
Absolutely. To be a good team, especially a well-coached team like Belfry, and as big as they are up front, we're not going to line up and just run it down their throat. We know that. So we got to be able to, use the passing game to kind of keep them off balance a little bit so we can find some lanes to run, plus those short game and quick game, so that we can, use that as our running game. That's kind of what we did against Coach a little bit was, get the ball to Conley out on the edge on short little swing routes or shoot routes. That way it's kind of an extension of the run because, again, you're not going to line up and go toe-to-toe and just line and run the ball down the field. So we got to kind of keep them off balance, and we don't want to get into a situation with us throwing the ball where it's 3rd and 10 where they know you got to throw the ball. So if we can keep a mixture in there and a balance where we can get into 3rd and 5s where you can run the ball or you can throw the ball or run it or throw it, you're better off.
They don't bring, they being Belfry, don't bring a whole lot of pressure, though.
No, they don't. Usually the most pressure they bring, usually when they blitz, is a short yardage situation on 3rd down. They like to bring some backers to try to get up there and get in the backfield and cause some havoc to get you in that short yardage situation.
All right. Think you got any questions?
I just think it's really great. These are two of the best football programs in our area, Raceland and Russell, and you guys played pretty good schedules all season long to prepare yourself for these things. But just to think, that your two opponents this week are teams that can really give you guys some problems, can't they?
Oh, absolutely. Year in, year out, Belfry's is, like I said earlier, that's the team you got to go through on the east side here. In 3A is Belfry.
And if you give these two guys some problems, then you've got a pretty good program.
No doubt about it.
I mean, I think, Paintsville had us circled all since a year ago, 365 days ago. We beat them twice last year, and I think it had been something like 10 or 12 years since they beat us. I think we beat them 2 years, Coach Maynard's last year there. And so, again, they're aiming for us, and I think our guys were hurt. And, we'll go up to tomorrow and see what happens.
Yeah, I think there's two teams coming from here down to Belfry and Paintsville with a little something to prove. There's no doubt about that. But, we go back to what we talk about a lot, and that is you never really know, though, do you? As a coach, what's going through the minds of 15, 16, 17-year-olds till they get out there and start performing.
No, you don't. But, what we've been trying to preach to our guys all week, we know it's going to be a challenge. As you get further and further in the playoffs, you're always going to play good teams, so it's always going to be a challenge. Life's full of challenges. So how do you approach those challenges? If you'll go out, work hard and prepare all week, and you go out and play your tail off, that's the only way you got a chance to be successful. If you do that, you're going to be successful either way. Either you're going to win the game or you're going to give everything you had, and then if somebody beats you, they beat you. But, again, if you do those things, I think you got a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our guys, like I said, their pride was hurt. Dickie made mention of our schedule. I think I figured up, I was thinking on the way up here, of our 11 games, 5 of our games have been decided in the last minute of the 11. That's phenomenal. Some guys go the whole career and don't think about that, including the game we played with Coach Maynard. Game we played last week. Anyway, if we can find a way tomorrow, we want to get this thing to make it a fourth quarter game. They beat a lot of people really, really bad. So we can make this thing a fourth-quarter game tomorrow night. Our kids have, confidence in where we've been. They can make the plays when the chips are down to, pull out the victory tomorrow night. Let's
talk about last week a little bit because both of you a little bit different. Coach Maynard got to be at home, and you all had to hit the road. But both came away with victories in that first week. What did that do for the morale of the team?
Well, me and you talked there after the game, and actually even pregame last week. Last practice last week was really not very good. Our body language, our demeanor. Some of our guys, I'm not sure if they really wanted to be there. And some of that happens. We had a lot of success last year. We had a lot more guys come out this year just because we had success, but not understanding the type of work ethic and commitment that you got to have to do it. So, some of those guys kind of fell by the wayside, and I was disappointed last week. But this week it's been different, totally different. They've come in since Monday, and they've come to work every day. It's been a pleasure all week. They've worked really hard. So now, I like our chances.
That was, I think, our 7th road game, 40, 50 miles from home. Our kids really brought it. We had to control the game early, control the game at halftime, come out in third quarter, we turned it over one time. Next thing you know, boom, they hit a big play on us, and we're in a 48-minute war. Probably the most impressive thing last week for us was we held the ball for the last 6 minutes and 33 seconds of the game. I think Bishop Broster, if I remember right, ran 4 plays in the fourth quarter. They went 3 and out, punted to us. We got the ball, somewhere around our own 20 with 6.5 minutes to go, and we never gave it back. They had like 2 timeouts. They exhausted all their timeouts. We got, 4 or 5 first downs there in a row. I think we had like 25 first downs on the night. So that's the type of drives that we got to have tomorrow night. We got to have those kind of first down numbers to keep the chains moving, keep that clock moving, and keep the other offense on the sideline.
All right, we're talking with T.J. Maynard of the Russell Red Devils and Mike Sammons of the Raceland Rams. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, talk to them some more about tomorrow night's playoff games, and we'll also, of course, take a look at other games around the area, other teams still involved in the playoffs. We'll do all that and more when we continue. You're listening to the Thursday night edition of Let's Talk Sports on Cool Hits 105.7.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Harvest the savings now at Fannon's Boyd County Ford. You'll find tremendous markdowns on new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs, like a 2015 F-150 Crew Cab XLT Sport, only $44,995. Get a 2013 Ford Focus for only $13,995, or a 2013 Ford F-150 4x4 X-Cab XLT, only $28,900. You'll also find big discounts and incentives on all new vehicles. Don't miss the savings during the big fall sale at Fannin's Boyd County Ford, 2119 Greenup Avenue, Ashland, or online at BoydCountyFord.com. If you get injured playing sports, then you need to see the Sports Medicine Department at King's Daughters Medical Center. Dr. Andy Gilliland, the specialist in sport injuries, and the sports medicine team will conduct diagnostic tests to find the problem and then prescribe the rehabilitation you need to get you back in the game fast. For more information, you can call 606-327-0036. Sports Medicine from King's Daughters Medical Center, taking medicine further.
Ouch! Bender? First line of defense, bring your car to Monroe Collision Center on Greenup Avenue in Ashland. Owner Kevin Monroe is there to discuss how to best get you taken care of. Let Kevin tell you about their pre-work process and how Monroe Collision will work with your insurance company directly to get you back in your car much sooner. Monroe Collision Center, 2788 Greenup Avenue, Ashland, home of the free loaner car.
Monroe's Frame and Collision, our work says it all.
And Monroe's is now tinting windows at their Ashland location.
It's probably happened to you. There's a charge on your debit card you can't quite place, or you can't find your card at all, and that worries you. The Commercial Bank of Grayson now offers a service to ease the worry. Through online banking or your mobile banking app, you can protect yourself by switching off your debit card whenever you want. And when you remember that charge or when you find your card, like you usually do, just switch your card back on. The Commercial Bank of Grayson and Olive Hill. Here for a century, here for your security and peace of mind. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway, we'll take you wherever you go.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
The Clark's Pump and Shop Marathons of the Tri-State, supplied by the John W. Clark Oil Company. Return, refresh, refuel.
Have a big mess and don't know what to do? Building contractors need a place to dispose of all that rubbish? 2 words can answer all your disposal needs: Grayson Sanitation. From residential and commercial to industrial and construction, let Grayson Sanitation haul your troubles away. Whether it's one-time or contract service, call Frank or Travis Rice today at 474-5850. Grayson Sanitation, a proud sponsor of Area Athletics.
The best deals on new and pre-owned vehicles are found at Kentucky and Ohio Automotive Centers in Grayson and Portsmouth. You'll find the best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, cars, trucks, and SUVs at fantastic prices. Plus the best deals of the Tri-State on a big selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. The professional sales staff will make your buying experience pleasant. When you need a new or pre-owned vehicle, see the folks at Kentucky Automotive Center just off the I-64 exit at Grayson, and Ohio Automotive Center on the corner of US 52 and Offner Street in Portsmouth, or go online to yourautocenters.com.
Looking for authentic Mexican cuisine? How about great tasting food at an affordable price? Well, look no further than Tres Hermanos Nunez in Greenup, Grayson, Canonsburg, Canova, Paintsville, and coming soon to Winchester Avenue, downtown Ashland. Wherever you are in the area, when that craving for budget-pleasing, great-tasting Mexican food hits, Tres Hermanos Nunez is on your way. Sit down to a great-tasting Mexican meal tonight at Tres Hermanos Nunez, with a new location coming soon to downtown Ashland.
Cool Hits 105.7.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports Thursday night edition. We talk high school football, and of course we're in the second week of the playoffs, and we're pleased to have with us in the studio T.J. Maynard, coach of the Russell Red Devils, and Mike Sammons, coach of the Raceland Rams. Both of those teams on the road next week. Russell at Belfry, Raceland is playing at Paintsville. You can hear both those games on CoolHits1057.com, and we hope you'll tune in and listen to the games if you can, and go back and forth, and you keep up to date with all of them if you've got them on your Cool Hits app. So looking forward to all the excitement of the second week, and we've been talking a little bit about things that your teams have to do and the attitude that your players have to have, and I think you both feel pretty positive about attitude going into tomorrow night, right?
I do. After the response that we got in the second half from our kids, after we talked with them a little bit at halftime, and then the effort, it all started Monday. Monday, we're just helmet shoulder pads, just kind of doing a brief install of our reads and stuff on our option, and ended up getting pretty competitive. And I thought both sides of the ball really did a great job of competing, and guys were really focused and into it. And that's all you can ask for as a coach. Your guys prepare the right way.
Yeah, we practiced well all week. I think Coach Vanderhoof, he's been around a long time today. In practice, he came by there one time and said, "Man, this is a loose group," and they are. I don't know. Maybe it's their makeup. Maybe they'll know any better. I don't know what it is, and maybe it's our approach. But our guys, I think they're loose. They're ready to go. A lot of ways, teenagers are really resilient. They know what happened 21 days ago, but I'm not really sure it impacts them the way it would impact ourselves as adults. So those guys kind of flush it. Sometimes that aggravates you as a coach because you want them to stew on it a little bit. A lot of times they just don't do it. So I think our kids will be ready to go tomorrow night.
Let's talk health. Everybody healthy?
Healthy as we're going to be.
Yeah, 12th game of the year. We're blessed in that department. I mean, obviously you got some nicks and bangs, but our guys are going to go tomorrow night.
All right, let's get right down to it then. And TJ, we'll start with you. What do you have to do to go down there and beat Belfry? I mean, they're tough, and a lot of people aren't going to. A lot of people are going to say Russell doesn't have a chance at all. So what do you do? What do you tell your team? What do you do to go down there and beat them? What has to happen on the field?
We got to have a mentality of being just as physical as they're going to be, and we got to attack them, play in, play out. We tried to simplify our game plan on defense so that our guys weren't doing a whole lot of reading. We wanted to play fast, and we wanted to be aggressive and be physical. If you're not physical with Belfry, you have no shot. And then number two is, again, one thing I always talk about is our turnovers. The games that we've lost, we always turn the ball over, so we got to take care of the football. And then offensively, we got to be very efficient. We got to make sure, again, we talk about throwing the football, that we make passes completely, whether it be quick game or down the field, and we got to keep moving the chains. But again, number one is we got to match their physicality, and we got to play with a lot of heart and determination.
Mike, what's your team got to do to turn it around from 21 days ago?
Well, I think our guys will be inspired tomorrow night. I'm not so sure 21 days ago we had that inspiration that we needed to be successful. But number one, hands down, most important thing in the playoffs, you got to make sure you play defense. And we got to take away their explosive plays tomorrow night. We got to line up. We got to hit them in the mouth. And if they get one on us, we got to line up and do it again. If we can do that all night long, on the defensive side of the ball, we'll have a chance. On offense, we got to find a way to churn out some first downs. We can't turn the ball over. Got to value the football and keep the chains moving. Twofold, it gives our guys some confidence. And second of all, it keeps an explosive offense we're concerned about on the sideline. That's what we preached all week. It's the top of our scout report. Eliminate the big play and take care of the football. We do those two things tomorrow night. I feel really, really good about our chances. Fan support. You guys expect fans to travel with you well tomorrow?
Yeah, Red Devil Nation always does.
Yeah,
Rams do too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Belfry number one in the state? I don't even know. 3A. Are they number one?
I believe so.
All right. Well, I know Paintsville's number one in the state and have been for, I don't know, better part 2.5, 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Belfry is number one.
Are they? Okay. Both of us play number one teams, and there you go. Yeah, Paintsville's going to have a great crowd. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. I'm sure our guys will be down there. I have no doubt. It'll be a fun atmosphere for our kids tomorrow night.
All right. We're going to take our second break, then we're going to come back and take a look at some other games and get these guys' thoughts on other games and other teams that are playing in the playoffs. We'll do that in just a couple of moments. You're listening to the Thursday night edition of Let's Talk Sports on the Cool Hits 105.7.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Harvest the savings now at Fannon's Boyd County Ford. You'll find tremendous markdowns on new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs, like a 2015 F-150 Crew Cab XLT Sport, only $44,995. Get a 2013 Ford Focus for only $13,995, or a 2013 Ford F-150 4x4 X-Cab XLT, only $28,995. You'll also find big discounts and incentives on all new vehicles. Don't miss the savings during the big fall sale at Fannon's Boyd County Ford, 2119 Greenup Avenue, Ashland, or online at BoydCountyFord.com. If you get injured playing sports, then you need to see the sports medicine department at King's Daughters Medical Center. Dr. Andy Gilliland, a specialist in sport injuries, and the sports medicine team will conduct diagnostic tests to find the problem and then prescribe the rehabilitation you need to get you back in the game fast. For more information, you can call 606-327-0036. Sports medicine from King's Daughters Medical Center, taking medicine further.
Stop by Monroe Collision in Ashland for your insurance estimate and let them explain the pre-work process that gets you back into your vehicle much sooner after an accident. Stop in and meet owner Kevin Monroe, discuss your options, and see Monroe's state-of-the-art facility. Monroe Collision's repairs are backed by a lifetime warranty on those repairs, so you drive away happy and protected. Monroe Collision, 2788 Greenup Avenue, Ashland. home of the free loaner car.
Monroe's Frame and Collision. Our work says it all.
And Monroe's is now tinting windows at the Ashland location.
Buying a home is a big decision, so keep your options open with the Commercial Bank of Grayson, where you can select the type of mortgage that suits you best. Perhaps a low-rate adjustable mortgage is the one for you, or lock in a competitive fixed rate that fits comfortably in your budget. Choose your mortgage as carefully as you choose your new home, and choose the bank with outstanding mortgage options. The Commercial Bank of Grayson, Grayson and Olive Hill, here for a century, here for you, with plenty of options. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway, we'll take you wherever you go.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
The Clark's Pump and Shop Marathons of the Tri-State, supplied by the John W. Clark Oil Company. Return, refresh, refuel.
Have a big mess and don't know what to do? Building contractors need a place to dispose of all that rubbish? 2 words can answer all your disposal needs: Grayson Sanitation. From residential and commercial to industrial and construction, let Grayson Sanitation haul your troubles away. Whether it's one-time or contract service, call Frank or Travis Rice today at 474-5850. Grayson Sanitation, a proud sponsor of Area Athletics.
The best deals on new and pre-owned vehicles are found at Kentucky and Ohio Automotive Centers in Grayson and Portsmouth. You'll find the best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram cars, trucks, and SUVs at fantastic prices. Plus the best deals in the Tri-State on a big selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. The professional sales staff will make your buying experience pleasant. When you need a new or pre-owned vehicle, see the folks at Kentucky Automotive Center just off the I-64 exit at Grayson, and Ohio Automotive Center on the corner of US 52 and Offner Street in Portsmouth, or go online to yourautocenters.com.
Looking for authentic Mexican cuisine? How about great tasting food at an affordable price? Well, look no further than Tres Hermanos Nunez in Greenup, Grayson, Canonsburg, Canova, Paintsville, and coming soon to Winchester Avenue, downtown Ashland. Wherever you are in the area, when that craving for budget-pleasing, great-tasting Mexican food hits, Tres Hermanos Nunez is on your way. Sit down to a great-tasting Mexican meal tonight at Tres Hermanos Nunez, with a new location coming soon to downtown Ashland.
The weather is sponsored by Cooper's Trucks and Accessories, where you'll find suspension lift and lowering kits, plus a complete line of automotive accessories to spruce up your ride. On the web at cooperstrucks.com.
Cool Hits 105.7 Tri-State weather.
Partly cloudy and breezy and cooler tonight with a low around 38. Look for sunny skies on Friday. It's going to be cooler, high around 52. And on Friday night, mostly clear and a low around 32.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports Thursday night show, where we talk high school football. Pleased to have with us in the studio T.J. Maynard, coach of the Russell Red Devils, Mike Sammons, coach of the Raceland Rams. We're going to take a look at some other games right now and sort of make our picks, guys, as we will. And the coaches don't necessarily have to make their picks, but we'd like to get your insights into the game, because it's always good to hear from coaches. Fairview Paris, and I know that's one that you might have to look at down the road playing somebody. But, you hope so, yeah. But Paris, really good year this year.
Yeah, I think they're undefeated. They got
10-0.
They didn't play last week. They got a forfeit or bye or whatever. Phelps didn't play, but I think they had one of the running backs. I can't remember Clark, maybe. I can't remember his name. He just took over the school's all-time leading rusher. And Paris has been up and down over the years, but they had a tradition-rich program. Fairview goes on the road, and of course, everybody knows what Roy can do. He's an old gunslinger back there. I look for a big competitive game.
Yeah, I think that can be a shootout, can it?
I assume so. I don't know much about either one, other than obviously Roy and Washington. Those guys can throw it, but best of luck to the Eagles, and hopefully our region can get some games and win.
But it's one of those games, Dickie, where you got Roy and Washington who can throw and catch, but as one of the coaches said a minute ago, you do have to throw and catch it, though. I mean, that has to happen. They have to be in rhythm, and when Fairview's in rhythm, they're pretty good. They're hard to stop, but if they're not, it's a different story.
I watched them last week. Was the first time I got to see them, and they're so quick. They come up, they do the 6-second drill they set all year long, and I mean they really get their offense going.
Who you like? Picks are just between me and you and Spence tonight. Tim's not here.
Paris is 10-0, but
you want me to tell you who Aaron took so you can?
I'm going to pick the hometown boys. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
You're going with the Eagles. That's what Aaron did.
Well, they don't have a chance, do they? Aaron Snyder and I both picked them.
I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I think the road trip. I'm going to go with Paris in a tight ball game. I think it'll be a tight ball game. What do you think, Spence?
What do you think, Spencer?
No, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna also go with Paris. I think they'll. It will be a shootout. I like your opinion there, Ed. I like your pick there, Jim.
Quit kissing up. That's okay.
I'm not kissing up. No, I'm just going. Let's go with whatever's best.
Right, that's good. All right, Ashland at Scott. Before we make our pick, you guys, Ashland, even though they got beat late in the year, still really, really good team. You saw them.
Yeah, we saw them. We were there. I don't know. We tried. Really talented team. I know Tubes, Baker and O'Brien didn't play last week. I don't know what their status is this week. Obviously, you're going 130 or 40 miles in northern Kentucky on the road. You probably want to take your two thoroughbreds with you. If they can go, I'm sure they will. I think there's Ashland Johnson Central is destined for a showdown again. But again, you going on the road, you never know what can happen.
Yeah, and of course you saw them too.
Yeah, I kind of echo what Coach said there. Obviously you go on the road and it's tough, but I still think Ashland comes out of the victory and gets that rematch with Johnson Central. I was really impressed with Ashland. I knew when we played them going that game they were pretty good, but they were even better than I thought. They got a really solid ball club.
O'Brien, if he doesn't play, hurts him. I think against Scott, even though. I don't think Scott played near the schedule that Ashland played this year. But I think if O'Brien doesn't play, that hurts. I think Baker will play. I really do. He might not play the whole game depending on how the game's going, but I really think he'll play some anyway.
Yeah, this year's kind of different in this 4A district, and as far as the region is concerned, the number 4 seed, Round County, last week really gave Covington Scott about all they wanted. So I don't think Ashland will have any trouble playing Scott. So I think the Tomcats win pretty convincingly tomorrow night.
You going with the Tomcats too?
Yeah, I saw Ashland and Raceland game, and Quentin Baker is just all out. He's a
real deal.
He's one heck of an athlete. I'm gonna have to go with the Tomcats.
I am too. Tomcats. All right, let's talk about Lawrence County at West Carter, and again, that's a game that Coach Maynard's going to be watching real close too, if his team could come away with a victory. But Lawrence County and West Carter, you played them both, didn't you?
Yeah, played them both. Played West first game of the year, and played Lawrence. I don't know, they're late September. Both really good football teams. Both really blessed with great team speed. I think that's what you'll see tomorrow night. A lot of times in the playoff games, I even talked about earlier, it comes down to playing defense against stops. I think tomorrow night in West Carter, I think they're going to put some points on the board, both teams. Just a lot of team speed on both sides of the ball. Obviously, turnover is going to play a big key in the game tomorrow night. But two really, really good football teams. I think they both got 8 or 9 wins apiece.
Is this a game, TJ, that people look at and say, it's going to be a shootout, a lot of points, and you see that a lot. Sometimes people go, "Oh, this game's," and then it ends up being 7-6. They both teams come out and play really good defense. I don't know if they.
I don't see that tomorrow night, just because both those teams have a lot of skill kids, a lot of guys that can run, as Coach said. I think winning the ball game tomorrow night is going to come down to which defense limits the big play. Because, again, they both got explosive athletes. I know they got the Dalton guys out on the edge for Lawrence County, and Kaiser throws it really well. And then, we got Braden Brown that can do a lot of different things and hurt you in many different ways. But, again, whichever defense limits the big play, I think that's the team that comes out with the victory.
Dickie?
I'm going to thank the Bulldogs. I think they're just a little bit too much for West Carter. Although they're going there, but I'm picking Lawrence County.
Oh, man, I was waiting on you, Jim.
No, I'm waiting on you.
All right.
Were you going to pick what I picked so you can kiss up again?
I was thinking that, yes.
At least you're honest.
Yes. No, I'm going to have to go with the comments. I think they'll give Lawrence County, I think they'll give Lawrence County trouble. However, Lawrence County, I saw them also play Raceland, and they were a pretty good football team. I think it'll be evenly matched. I don't know about high scoring, though. I'm going to have to go with the comments.
All right. It's sort of been a year of destiny for West Carter. I sometimes you can throw that out the window, and sometimes I think it plays. I think they're really pumped up. I think they're really pumped up over in Olive Hill. I mean, they got their first ever playoff win, first ever hosting a playoff. They know that they've got a shot against Lawrence County in the second round and could be back home again playing for the regional championship. And they've won, like, I think 6 in a row, something like that. I think they're on a roll. Right, I'm gonna pick the Comets in a close one, but I'm one of those guys too that think it could go either way. But I'm going to say Lawrence County home field advantage is going to give them a point or two. So I'm going to go with Wes Carter. All right, we got Raceland at Paintsville. We already know what you think you have to do to win that ball game. What do you think he has to do to win that ball game?
Obviously,
let's go with the old mentor there. What do you think he has to do?
Well, they got to limit the big play again. They got to control Phelps. I obviously got to see that game, and watch it before we played them in regular season. Our number one guy, stop him, limit the big play. They can't turn the ball over. That score kind of got out of control there early, but what is big plays from Paintsville, but also turnovers. You can't have that against good football teams. And like Coach said, I think his guys are more focused now, and they understand what's on the line. A lot of those guys have played in big games, and they got a little something to prove when they go back up there.
All right, Dickie, who are you going to pick?
Well, Coach Sammons over here, he says 21 days ago, and I think that's really good. I think that's a great way to build that up. And he said turnovers, got to cut those out. It needs to be physical with a big Paintsville team. I'm going for the upset. I think it would be an upset if Raceland wins at Paintsville. And so I just go with the Rams, a big upset tomorrow night in Johnson County.
All right. I'm going to say it's going to be much closer than it was the first time, but I still think Paintsville's going to win because I think they're the real deal, and I think also home field traveling. Although Raceland traveled last week and won, and I think you're a good traveling team, but and I hope like heck I'm wrong on that pick. But
I do too.
I hope I am, but I'm going to go with Paintsville, but in a much closer game. I think it's going to be much closer. All right, we got Russell at Belfry. What do you think Coach Maynard has to do to pull out an upset win?
Well, I think one thing in their advantage is they were there a year ago. A lot of kids back from that team, and they're going to know what it takes tomorrow night. Obviously, playoff football is rhetorical. You can't turn the ball over, and you got to be able to stop the run. If they do those two things tomorrow night, they'll have a shot. I'm sure they're kind of like us in the mindset they want to make it a 4-quarter game and get to the fourth quarter, and maybe the number one team in the state tightens up a little bit, and you don't have nothing to lose, and you go out there and lay it on the line and let the chips fall.
You picking another upset?
Russell's going into Belfry with nothing to lose, really. I mean, they're playing the number one team in the state. Everybody says Belfry's going to win. So, I think it's possible, but I think the Red Devils will have their hands full. I think Russell loses in a really close game at Belfry.
All right. He's not going for you there. I mean, for the upset.
That might be good. That might be a good thing.
It usually is, Coach.
I was at the game last year, and Belfry's the real deal again this year. And man, it's tough to play there. It just really is. And again, I'm gonna go with Belfry. I think it's gonna be much closer than it was last year. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we got two guys coming back down the road tomorrow night.
Yes.
Bringing victories back, and that would be great. And I'm not saying that either one couldn't happen, because I think we've seen a big turnaround with what Paintsville did to Pikeville last year, so it can happen. Team can be overlooking that team. We killed them, and they're overlooking it. And if you jump on them real fast, then you got them, doing things that they're not used to doing and stuff. I think that's going to be hard to do for disciplined teams, but anything can happen on a Friday night in high school football. So we wish you guys the best of luck, that's for sure. Missed one game, that's Greenup County at Johnson Central. Let's talk about that. A lot of people are just writing JC down because it's going to be JC and Ashland that meet for the regional championship, and that's probably what most people think. And Greenup County's going to go down there with a pretty good defense. They played him in the regular season, played him pretty good for a while, but it's really hard to stop that team long term.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Mullins, hats off to him. They've done a great job this year. I think they got 6 wins and won the playoff game for the third time in school history or something like this. And I know they played both Russell and played us very, very tight. So the Greenup's much improved. I think they're inspired to go down there tomorrow night and lay it on the line. Obviously, Coach Matney's program's been at a high level, probably the best team up down the river here for, last decade anyways, give or take. So obviously tremendous challenge, but all three of the schools in the county got a big challenge tomorrow night. That's no different than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of plays in Green's favor, I think they're in a good place mindset-wise. I mean, I think, you hear Coach Mullins talking about those guys looking forward to playing Johnson Central. Number one, you got to want to play those guys and go out and prove something instead of being, oh gosh, we got to go up to Johnson Central. So I think that kind of plays in their favor a little bit to have that mindset. Hey, we want Johnson Central. We want the best. So it's still going to be a tough task, just like me and Coach Sammons got. But go out there late online, see what happens.
And they play pretty good defense. I mean, both of you guys have seen them, and their defense is pretty tough. And if they could just stay in that game for a little bit, and I think it goes with all three of the Greenup County teams, Greenup County, Raceland, and Russell, all hitting the road, going down to the mountains, if you will, to play. Turnovers are going to be a big, especially if the other teams turn the ball over and you guys capitalize and get on top early. I think would be huge, wouldn't it?
Well, I think for all of us, one big key is the start of the game. To get out to a good start would go a long way in helping, your confidence level of competing and staying in that game. But at the same time, you can't be focused on what happens early, whether it be good or bad. What your goal has got to be to make it a 48-minute game and get in there and just fight your tail off every play, because that'll allow you to stay in there. Whether something good happens, bad happens again in the game, you just got to fight through that thing. You got to make it a 48-minute game.
You keep playing. I think we talk about all the time. You got to avoid the early knockout. I talked to the guys today about the old, what was the Holyfield 30 for 30? It was on this week. You got to avoid that early knockout. And if we can hang in there early, as it goes for all of us, hang in there early. And again, as the game goes on, that ball bounces funny ways. Top-rated teams, they get tight. We've been there. We've been top-rated teams before. I know how it works. If we can just get the people to that breaking point, I think all of us have a real chance tomorrow night.
All right, Greenup County and Johnson Central.
All of our teams going up against really, really good teams. I mean, Central's not number one, I don't think, but they're two or three, I guess.
At one time they were number two, but they've dropped down a little bit.
I think they got just a fantastic program up there, and I like for Greenup County to win, but I don't think it's going to be possible tomorrow night, and I think Johnson Central wins that ball game.
Spencer?
Oh, sorry.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree with Dickie and all you guys. I agree Johnson Central is going to win. I think Johnson Central take it to Greenup County and face Ashland next round.
All right, our sports director, Tim Carper, who can't speak, but he can speak via text, has picked his winners. He's picking Johnson Central, he's picking Fairview, he's picking Raceland, and he's picking Russell.
He just don't make any of us mad.
Tim just wants to have good rapport with all the coaches.
I'm changing mine, TJ. I'm going with Russell, okay?
We'll take our final break, come back, and wrap things up in just a moment. You're listening to the Thursday night edition of Let's Talk Sports.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Harvest the savings now at Fannon's Boyd County Ford. You'll find tremendous markdowns on new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs, like a 2015 F-150 Crew Cab XLT Sport, only $44,995. Get a 2013 Ford Focus for only $13,995, or a 2013 Ford F-150 4x4 X-Cab XLT, only $28,995. You'll also find big discounts and incentives on all new vehicles. Don't miss the savings during the big fall sale at Fannon's Boyd County Ford, 2119 Greenup Avenue, Ashland, or online at BoydCountyFord.com. If you get injured playing sports, then you need to see the Sports Medicine Department at King's Daughters Medical Center. Dr. Andy Gilliland, a specialist in sport injuries, and the sports medicine team will conduct diagnostic tests to find the problem and then prescribe the rehabilitation you need to get you back in the game fast. For more information, you can call 606-327-0036. Sports medicine from King's Daughters Medical Center. Taking medicine further.
Monroe's Collision wants you to know you have the right to choose. And like many others have, choose Monroe's Collision. Their technicians repair your vehicle to factory specifications using the highest quality parts, materials, and equipment, and taking pride in restoring your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Choose Monroe's Collision, where they handle all aspects of your claim.
Monroe's Frame and Collision. Our work says it all.
That's Monroe Collision in Portsmouth, Jackson, Chillicothe, West Union, and now tinting windows at their Ashland location.
Sometimes it takes a little help to reach certain goals, like home ownership. Interest rates on mortgages are still remarkably low at the Commercial Bank of Grayson, and this is a great time to shop for a new home, whether it's a starter or something roomier for a growing family. Home ownership can be one of the best investments you will ever make, and a worthy goal that the Commercial Bank of Grayson can help you reach. The Commercial Bank of Grayson, Grayson and Olive Hill, here for a century, here to help you reach your goals. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway, we'll take you wherever you go.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
The Clark's Pump and Shop Marathons of the Tri-State, supplied by the John W. Clark Oil Company. Return, refresh, refuel.
Have a big mess and don't know what to do? Building contractors need a place to dispose of all that rubbish? 2 words can answer all your disposal needs: Grayson Sanitation. From residential and commercial to industrial and construction, let Grayson Sanitation haul your troubles away. Whether it's one-time or contract service, call Frank or Travis Rice today at 474-5850. Grayson Sanitation, a proud sponsor of Area Athletics.
The best deals on new and pre-owned vehicles are found at Kentucky and Ohio Automotive Centers in Grayson and Portsmouth. You'll find the best selection of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram cars, trucks, and SUVs at fantastic prices. Plus the best deals in the Tri-State on a big selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. The professional sales staff will make your buying experience pleasant. When you need a new or pre-owned vehicle, see the folks at Kentucky Automotive Center just off the I-64 exit at Grayson, and Ohio Automotive Center on the corner of US 52 and Offner Street in Portsmouth, or go online to yourautocenters.com.
Looking for authentic Mexican cuisine? How about great tasting food at an affordable price? Well, look no further than Tres Hermanos Nunez in Greenup, Grayson, Canonsburg, Canova, Paintsville, and coming soon to Winchester Avenue, downtown Ashland. Wherever you are in the area, when that craving for budget-pleasing, great-tasting Mexican food hits, Tres Hermanos Nunez is on your way. Sit down to a great-tasting Mexican meal tonight at Tres Hermanos Nunez, with a new location coming soon to downtown Ashland.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports, our Thursday night show. Spencer is going to take a look at what's happening in Ohio and West Virginia. I think West Virginia starts their playoffs this weekend, right?
Yes, they do. West Virginia has started. Last week was the first week for Ohio, and this week's the first week for West Virginia. So we're going to run down some. There's not very many games in Ohio. Only 2 teams left around this area.
Right.
And so going to the Buckeye State, Ohio, the Pirates of Wheelersburg are dropping anchor as they welcome the Ridgewood Generals to the pirate ship. Kickoff at 7:30. And on Saturday at 7 o'clock, the Lucasville Valley Indians will welcome the Bobcats of Grandview Heights to the Indian Village. Kickoff at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And moving on to the Mountain State, West Virginia, the Highlanders of Huntington welcome the Patriots of George Washington to the Hill.
Okay.
Kickoff at 7:30. And the Timberwolves of Spring Valley make the path to the battlefield and face off against the Wheeling Park Patriots. Kickoff at 7:30. That's a Saturday game. And the Knights of Cabell Midland welcome the Tigers of Princeton to the Castle. Kickoff at 7:30. Raiders of Liberty travel to Rebel Country, take on the Tulsa Rebels. Kickoff at 7:30. And the Blue Devils of St. Mary's are traveling to take on the Bison of Buffalo. Kickoff at 7:30.
Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate it. Don't forget, We've got games on CoolHits1057.com. We're going to start with our special live edition of Game Changer tomorrow night, a little bit after 6 o'clock. Dickie Tiller is going to host that. We'll have live reports from all the game sites that we're covering. And then, of course, over on CoolHits1057.com, we'll have Russell at Belfry, Greenup County at Johnson Central, Raceland at Painesville, and Fairview at Paris. During UK plays tomorrow night, by the way, at 7 on Cool Hits 105.7. But during the UK game, we'll be breaking in with live updates from all of those games. So if you're listening to the UK, you're going to hear live updates also from all of those games. And then, of course, tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, the Overtime Scoreboard Show will have a rundown, coaches' comments, wrap-ups from all the sites on the Overtime Scoreboard Show at 11 o'clock. Dickie and Spencer will be covering that. If you missed that, of course, you can listen in Saturday mornings at 9 for a rundown of all the scores on Let's Talk Sports with Tim Carper. So that's at 9 o'clock on Saturday. We want to thank T.J. Maynard, coach of the Russell Red Devils, and Mike Sammons, coach of the Raceland Rams, for coming and being our guest again tonight. Guys, we appreciate it very much. I know it's a really busy time for you getting ready for the playoffs and leaving tomorrow, and you getting everything together, ready to make the trip. And we appreciate you taking out time and coming in and talk to us. We really do. And we wish you the best of luck tomorrow night, both of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's always good to be here and, promote our program and our kids and area sports. We're excited for the opportunity tomorrow night.
Say for us, thanks for having us, and thanks for everything you do for all the kids and players in our area. Again, it's a great way for people not in the area that can hear the games and follow their favorite teams. And again, hopefully we get 3 teams from Greenup County coming back with victories.
That'd be absolutely great. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Dickie, we'll talk to you tomorrow night. You'll be talking to just about everybody at every site during the pregame show, so we'll be looking forward to that.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
All right, Spencer, thanks for being here, too.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up. Tim Carper, we miss you, and we hope you'll be back with us next time. That's going to do it for the Thursday night edition of Let's Talk Sports. For T.J. Maynard, Mike Sammons, Dickie Tiller, and for the Spinsta, I'm Jim Forrest. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Thursday night high school football edition of Let's Talk Sports on Cool Hits 105.7. Tonight's show has been brought to you by River Cities Builders, Boyd County Ford, KDMC Sports Medicine, Commercial Bank of Grayson and Olive Hill, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, Monroe Collision Center, Grayson Sanitation, and Kentucky Automotive Center in Grayson. Tune in each Thursday night at 7 during the football season for the Thursday night high school football Let's Talk Sports Show here on your home for high school sports in the Tri-State, Cool Hits 105.7.